The explosion of the celebrity as designer craze took over the 2000s as soon as the new millennium hit. In modern days, celebs are hopping on the cosmetic line bandwagon. But a little over 20 years ago, celebrity-owned apparel was a billion-dollar industry. The biggest names in Hollywood were looking to cash in on their fashion influence. While some celebrities like Missy Elliott were teaming up with brands just for a limited edition collection, others were taking on full clothing lines, like Jennifer Lopez and her young contemporary lines Just Sweet and J.Lo, Mogul twins Mary-Kate and Ashley, Diddy's Sean John label, Rocawear by Damon Dash and rapper Jay-Z, and House of Darion by Beyonce. Unfortunately, not many thought about the long-term viability of celebrity-owned brands, and most of them disappeared by the end of the decade. Here are some 2000s Black celebrity brands people completely forgot existed. Outkast is one of the most successful and critically acclaimed rap groups of all time, with 6 Grammy Awards, 3 #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, and over 25 million records sold. Andre and Big Boy had completely different personalities, and their outlandish and flamboyant fashion also left a mark in the music industry. Unfortunately, their Outkast clothing line disappeared quickly after its launch because I guess it didn't resonate well with fans. Years later, the more daring member of the duo, Andre 3000, decided to take a shot at developing a line of his own. He admits that in the early days of Outkast, he was just trying to fit in by wearing baggy clothes. As the duo gained more commercial success, he felt more comfortable expressing himself through fashion. By the mid-2000s, his style evolved into the more tailored, preppy, nerdy look. In spring 2008, Andre debuted his 70-piece clothing line, Benjamin Bixby, at Barney's, New York during Fashion Week. The name is a combination of his last name and that of the character Bill Bixby. The line carried a range of 1930s-inspired American football clobber, including polo shirts, corduroy blazers, cashmere cardigans, paperboy hats, +4 trousers, numbered sweaters, and fitted sweat tops. The items started at about $100 and upwards to $1,000 or more, being sold exclusively at the high-end department stores Barney's, New York, and Harrods, London. Andre sketched all of the designs, picked all of the fabrics, and funded the line himself. Benjamin Bixby even got the stamp of approval from Anna Wintour. But he would soon find out that running a fashion brand as an individual with no financial backing or investors was a challenge he wasn't prepared for. Andre ended up losing millions of dollars in the process. He released a few collections before discontinuing Benjamin Bixby. For an African American guy to be a prep, that's a dichotomy. Prep style comes from mostly affluent families who just wear these cool clothes. But when you come from a background that has more struggle, your take on it will be different. There's a certain kind of rebel to it. I knew the next time I got into fashion or design after Outkast clothing line, it'd be something I really love. The reason I took the route was because hip-hop had this image of we don't wear these type of things, and I knew we wore different clothes. So Benjamin Bixby was my personal way of trying to say, this is how we do it. The clothes I was trying to make were all my sketches and designs. I was like, let me take this. Let me not get an investor. So all of it was me, my own money. Unfortunately, I lost millions, to be honest. It was an expensive lesson, but I can tell you, it was the best times, the best lessons in my life about myself and creating things, end quote.
See these ice cubes, see these ice creams, eligible bachelor.
Record producer, rapper, singer, and songwriter Pharrell Williams spent over a decade crafting some of the biggest hit songs for a multitude of artists. He was also making an impact on streetwear with his skater style. In 2003, he teamed up with bathing ape designer Nigo to launch a luxury streetwear brand called Billionaire Boys Club. A year later, they launched a skater footwear line called Ice Cream as a subsidiary of Billionaire Boys Club. Both brands were produced under the Reebok license. At the time, Reebok had relationships with Jay-Z and 50 Cent for the S. Carter collection and G-Unit collection footwear lines, so the licensing and distribution partnership between them and Pharrell made perfectly good sense. A year later, they opened up the first flagship store for the brand and later opened locations in Tokyo and London.
What is you watching Bape TV?
Hey, opening right down the street from one of my cribs. I'm gonna be here every day, man. It's the hottest shit.
Pharrell officially debuted Billionaire Boys Club in his famous Frontin' music video.
I can't say that our stuff compares to a Sean John or the rest of those, and they're very successful brands. It's just that this is not based on me being an entertainer. This is based on me, fulfilling a childhood dream. Our line is based on, exclusivity. It's not made to be super commercialized.
In December 2004, Pharrell filed a $4 million lawsuit against Reebok International, accusing them of failing to produce any clothing products meeting his standards. Reebok was also accused of failing to have the clothing line in the shops by an agreed deadline. He dropped the lawsuit shortly after, and they mutually agreed to part ways. Pharrell went on to launch the line independently. He started promoting ice cream sneakers in his music videos, but for whatever reason, Viacom decided to censor out the shoes whenever the Drop It Like It's Hot music video aired on MTV, VH1, and BET.
See these ice cubes, see these ice creams, eligible bachelor, $1 million bow.
The ice cream shoes came in vibrant colors and patterns and were packaged in ice cream cartons, very different from the other hip-hop and streetwear brands. Due to the initial exclusivity, the shoes were sold at a high price, but ice cream would become the more affordable line compared to Billionaire Boys Club. He said, "Ice cream is a little more affordable, but BBC is different. I created that brand because I had a lot of admiration for Ralph Lauren, but I wanted to take that concept and pretend that Willy Wonka was the head designer. So it's different, and the clothes are made in Japan, so there's a price that goes along with that. Ice cream, on the other hand, is like our silliness mixed with a huge respect for skating and how I saw things when I was a kid. It's kind of like me making the clothes I never got to have when I was 15." End quote. In 2006, he curated the Ice Cream Skate team, who helped promote the clothing line. The team made it onto BET, toured in Tokyo, and put out their first skate video titled Team Ice Cream Volume 1. Pharrell was even filming a reality show about the skateboarders. BBC and Ice Cream have declined so much in popularity since then, to the point where people think that they have been discontinued. But Billionaire Boys Club and Ice Cream are still distributing clothing items today, and Pharrell has gone on to do countless fashion ventures over the last 15 years. In the 2000s, the Williams sisters, Venus and Serena, were becoming the most influential tennis players in the world. They were making headlines for dominating championships as well as their attire on and off the tennis court. Their sexy, short, revealing, and skin-tight outfits made them targets for criticism. Growing up in the Compton neighborhood of Los Angeles, California, fashion was something that came naturally to the sisters. Venus said, "We both love to sew. We tried to make clothes for our dolls and clothes for ourselves." They had already established themselves as tennis legends, but Venus and Serena still attended the Art Institute of Fort Lauderdale to study fashion design and business in between matches. Both sisters had two completely different styles. Serena was more glamorous and sexy, while older sister Venus was more conservative and relaxed.
I'm excited to see the fashion show.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be here and put it all together. It was really nerve-wracking, and I think it'll be okay.
At the Forge, where we're having this fashion show.
We've done a lot of fashion shows, but this is
by far the best,
the
right?
number one.
This is going to be
number one
incredible.
show, yeah.
I've done lots of collections, and this is just another one that I'm doing that I'm really excited. And I've never done one in Miami, and to do it at the Forge.
And tell us about this collection.
Well, we're using a lot of rich, luxurious fabrics, and we did a lot of things on the bias because I was influenced by a lot of different buildings, and so and we added some funky stuff. We're in Miami, so I decided to do bathing suits.
For Venus.
In 2003, Serena started her own clothing line called Anears, her first name spelled backwards. She launched the brand during the WTA Tour Charities fashion show and gala on November 3, 2003, with celebrities such as Pharrell Williams, Brandy, and of course her sister Venus modeling the looks. Anears was an edgy and chic line exclusively sold in select upscale high-end boutiques in Miami and Los Angeles. The brand carried evening looks, club wear, and business attire with prices ranging from $10 to $250. I love tennis more than designing because it's actually easier and I don't get nearly as nervous. I'm so nervous when I'm designing." End quote. Years later, Venus Williams launched her own line of clothing in 2007 at the discount clothing chain Steve & Barry's. Her brand, named 11, launched with a 120-piece collection of sportswear, footwear, and accessories, the largest ever launched by a female athlete, and completely different from Serena's line. The line carried tracksuits, graphic t-shirts, velour items, tote and gym bags, and sports socks and bras. Venus wanted her high-quality and stylish clothes to be affordable and accessible to everyone, which is why she partnered with Steve & Barry's. They had design partnerships with Hollywood celebrities such as Sarah Jessica Parker and Amanda Bynes. All the items were priced under $20. 11 is about what I'm about. It's about my style. It's fashion and performance and confidence and strength. You can wear it everywhere. You can wear it to the gym, when you're going shopping. You can wear it to the movies. I love fashion, and the idea that I am using my design education to actually create clothing and footwear that I will wear on and off the tennis court is a dream come true for me. End quote. The Williams sisters wore their own designs on the tennis court, but both clothing lines eventually got discontinued. Unfortunately for Venus, Steve & Barry's went bankrupt a year later after the launch of 11 and shut down all stores. Both Williams sisters are still designing clothes these days, and Venus's line 11 is still operating and is now producing sunscreen products. Serena has also designed other brands like S by Serena, Serena Williams Jewelry, and a women's wear line called Zena. She said, "Now we're designers and we really know how to handle fabrics and how to actually construct things and how to do things from literal experience and going through those tough moments in order to create stuff. It definitely helped." That's one thing I love about Venus's line and my line, is that we actually studied for it and we really know how to do it. It's just interesting that there's an authenticity behind it. End quote. Rapper Eve exploded in the rap scene in the late 1990s, and by the early 2000s, the Philly native was one of the most stylish celebs of the new millennium. Her around-the-way girl fashion and ever-changing hairstyles made it easy for her to resonate with urban black girls. She had a hit UPN sitcom at the time and had already won a Grammy for her hit song Blow Your Mind featuring Gwen Stefani. She was also a Mac Viva glam girl. Like many other celebs, she decided to try her hand at designing her own urban lifestyle fashion brand. In summer 2003, Eve launched her clothing line named Fetish. Innovo Group Inc. was named as the licensee to manufacture, market, and distribute the new line in a multi-year deal. Fetish carried a variety of leisure, athletic, basics, denim, and accessories. The collection's retail prices ranged from $28 to $350 and was to be exclusively sold in US department and specialty stores. The targeted demographic was teenage black girls and young adults. But the store launch of the Fetish line was halted after production problems and ongoing disputes with Innovo. The cost of launching Fetish, in addition to the Shago line by Bow Wow, caused financial issues for the apparel company. Innovo was not able to deliver a large percentage of orders, so a lot of the inventory was returned, resulting in excess inventory being shelved. Innovo was unable to sell the excess inventory at full price. In turn, they lost almost $6 million between both brands. That's when the line shut down and the legal issues between Eve and the company started. By mid-2004, she would enter into a new partnership with fashion designer and entrepreneur Marc Ecko. If the name sounds familiar, Marc Ecko is the founder and designer of the urban brand Ecko Unlimited everyone wore in the 2000s. Eve signed a licensing deal with Marc Ecko Enterprises to relaunch Fetish in fall 2005. She told Women's Wear Daily, "Signing with Ecko Unlimited, for me, it's a no-brainer. They know quality, they are young and hip, and Marc gets it. They are going to give us what we need for longevity. They are going to give it the quality and attention it needs. That's always what I've wanted for my brand." End quote. But the brand's relaunch was shelved again after promises of better designs, high-quality fabric, and more fashionable pieces weren't met. So she put the line on the back burner for a few years. Eve attempted to launch Fetish for the third time in 2007 when she entered a new partnership with Signature Apparel after they bought out Ecko's side of the partnership. Signature is the company that produced the Rocawear Jr. line as well as Bella Rock under licensing agreements. After what happened with Marc, I wasn't sure I ever wanted to bring the brand back. It was a lot to deal with, and I wasn't sure I wanted to deal with it again. You know what they say, third time's the charm, and I believe it. It's my favorite number. End quote. Fetish relaunched in select specialty retailers like Dr. J's and had a moderate success. But 2 years later, Eve announced that she was shutting Fetish down for good. Her situation kind of reminds me of She by Sheree. Lil Kim, the most celebrated female rapper, never shied away from experimenting with fashion and style. Even if some people aren't familiar with her music, they definitely know her for some of her most iconic looks and close relationships with fashion designers. She constantly incorporated fashion in her music and persona the minute she hit the rap scene in the mid-1990s. In 1998, Lil Kim signed with Wilhelmina Models, which helped her become one of the most recognized faces in entertainment. Kim was the face of a lot of brands, and numerous luxury fashion designers like Giorgio Armani, Donatella Versace, Alexander McQueen, and Marc Jacobs wanted to get her in their designs. So Kim becoming a designer came as no shocker to most. Despite all of her success, the Grammy Award-winning rapper was facing prison time for perjury, making false statements, and obstruction of justice for allegedly lying to a grand jury about a 2001 shootout. But Kim was not going to let the criminal trial stop her from pursuing business endeavors before serving time. In 2004, she released a line of luxury watches called Royalty, manufactured by celebrity jeweler Jacob Arabo. She said, "I wanted to create a quality, unique product that fashionable women everywhere can afford." The last part is hilarious because the Royalty watches actually retailed from $1,800 to $3,500 depending on the weight of the diamonds. She described the watches as being everything that she is: bold, sexy, and sophisticated. Her Royalty watches were sported by a lot of her high-profile celebrity friends like Anna Nicole Smith, Tyra Banks, and Ashley Simpson. Later that year, she launched her Hollyhood line, a limited edition collection of women's tops, denim, activewear, and other trendy pieces. Back in March 2003, she met with World Recognition International about starting a brand. The company was an investment group that focused specifically on celebrity-driven apparel brands. She said, "My collection combines Hollywood glamour with city chic. The collection will be 100% me. I'm going to take runway-inspired fashion and turn it into quality, affordable product for my fashionable consumer. I'm not looking to redesign another sweatsuit or bubble coat." End quote. The accessible collection prices ranged from $25 to $200, while the more upscale and limited edition collection ranged from $75 to $2,000. I did not want to rush into the fashion industry until I felt that I had the right team behind me. I've always expressed my love for fashion through my music. Hollyhood is a label for those who believe in my philosophy that there are no rules when it comes to fashion. It's about having fun and choosing to dress in a way that makes you feel good. End quote. Hollywood's targeted customers ranged from ages 16 to 35 years old. The line didn't last too long, and of course, Kim started her prison sentence in 2005. In 2010, Kim debuted a new fashion line called 24/7 at Charlotte, North Carolina's Fashion Week. It didn't seem like the brand ever made its way off the ground since that was the only time we heard about it. Do you guys remember any of these celebrity-owned brands? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, like this video, and subscribe to Black Femininity TV for more content.